Right. So this is the number one reason why take-home code challenges or online coding challenges, which can be done on HackerRank and other similar platforms, are kind of useless, and they end up being a lose-lose situation for both the company and the candidates. So number one, it might be also the most important, or it's quite important as well. It's the fact that most of the time, the codes, the challenges, the algorithms that you are supposed to be doing, especially given us, like a range of time, which is usually not too long, most of the time those are useless or rather irrelevant. They have no relevancy when it comes to the job itself, right? So most companies, they do not need you to do Rangolis. They do not need you to convert Roman numerals into integers. They don't need you to, I don't know, do any, most of the time you will not be doing recursive algorithms. Like doing a recursive algorithm and having it in production is a major problem down the line, right? Even if it works perfectly now, requirements always change, bugs always pop up even after a system has been running for years. So having a recursive algorithm is like a big no in most companies. And it's like, if you're a sane software developer, you are going to avoid them, because you yourself writing it will not be able to down the line in a couple of months refactor it or actually understand how it was working unless you spend a huge amount of time on it, right? So those are all big no's. Those are all like not necessary. So they are irrelevant, the coding chart, most of them. I mean, I understand that the companies want, or rather the hiring managers or the engineers doing the hire, participating in the hiring, they want to be able to tell who has, knowledge of programming and who's just trying to fake it just to get through to the interview and somehow maybe land a job way above their pay grade. That actually happens, I'm certain, a lot of the times. But those algorithms that you have to do in like 10, 20, 30 minutes, not those are irrelevant most of the time. Most companies, and I'm telling you from experience, like I've worked mobile, I've worked front end, I've worked back end, I've even done work on augmented reality on such a project. So I'm not bragging, I'm just saying most of the time, most of the companies that I worked for, they required me to do simple stuff like show lists, filter lists, do queries, create endpoints, pagination, have them, have the objects look nice on the screen, um, basically UI UX improvements. And then backend wise, sure, you'll do some, let's say, some concurrency because you need that, especially with Python, but not just limited to that. You need to know microservices nowadays. You definitely nowadays need to know Docker. You need to know a bit of AWS or Google Cloud. You need to have practical skills, and you need to be able to adapt quickly, right? So it is completely irrelevant and a complete loss of everybody's time to do an online challenge where you are timed and you have to, like I said, print a Rangoli or whatever else uh, comes up nowadays in these challenges. So yeah, I just disapprove of them. I sigh every time I, I have an interview and they say, "Oh, there's a challenge." I go, "Oh crap! Okay, let me get my phone out because I've got plenty of other skills which are relevant to the product and to the company." But they don't want to see that. They want me to do some BS, um, algorithmic challenge, which doesn't really help. Also SQL. You definitely need to know SQL or databases in general. So there are plenty of other skills that should be um, checked. And I'm guessing that in the next interviews, it is where they do check, which is actually the case. But the first one, the challenge, irrelevant.